here on what is it, that Twitch TV? That's the platform.
Correct.
And we're at GameSwap Mason. And this is all brought to you by, as you can see on the screen, Top Tech Productions. Thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time, if not, thanks for tuning in again. As always, I'm Mark, and I'm actually here with a new co-host today. It's Victor.
How are you guys doing? My name is Victor.
You may recognize Victor's charming voice from I don't know, from Tuesdays and Fridays, sometimes Wednesdays.
I typically am here battling on Tuesdays. It's been a minute since I've commentated. If anybody has been around the block for a while, they might remember my name. Me and Doug Lynn did some tag team commentary back in the day.
Yeah. I haven't seen Doug Lynn in a while.
He had a child.
Oh, that's you know, I knew that. We're
real
friends
life.
on Facebook, so real life child, not a magic child. All right. Well, anyway, we got Matthew Minniear, a stream regular, here against Benjamin Bastin on Ponza.
So we got the land-based deck versus the land destruction deck,
and they're both red-green, so this should be exciting. And
both starting with some turn one ramp
spells. These are some pretty solid turn one plays for these decks.
Pretty optimal. I think just about exactly what you want every game.
Yeah, I think the Ponza deck would typically prefer an Arbor Elf against a deck that doesn't have much removal.
That's reasonable.
Because then you can obviously, if you play the Arbor Elf first and then the Sprawl, you can make 4 mana and just, Acid Moss on turn 2.
Which seems fine. Seems like a strong play. Starting on a Blood Moon.
Turn 2 Blood Moon.
Not
bad.
Deck.
Did he name red or green on that Sprawl? I bet he named green if he had he had the mountain in hand, but you never know. All right, we'll see.
At the very least, he's going to be able to get some basics. However, the question is going to be, does he have any artifact or enchantment removal main board? The guess is probably not.
I'm not even sure what you could have, like a Hull Breach.
Like, I could see maybe play. Ooh, I did see, unfortunately for him, there's a little engineered explosives floating around his deck.
Oh, in the main board?
Shuffling.
Okay.
Yeah, saw that main board.
I see you, Matthew Minniear, coming prepared.
I can't imagine he's going to have a third basic of any kind. Especially if he does, he probably would have grabbed it there, unless he already has it in his hand. But it's looking like it's going to just have to come down to some beatdowns from some Tribe Elders and some Prime Times.
Now, Prime Time, I mean, it's true that Benjamin doesn't really have good answers to Prime Time. His only way to really kill one is to, Miracle a Bonfire for 6, and that's not exactly a surefire thing. But this is interesting. You're definitely right. I mean, Matthew can win through Blood Moon.
It's not easy, but it's not impossible.
No.
See here, he's exploring a little bit.
A little pirate themed.
Has he played his land this turn? I'm not entirely certain. I believe he has, so he'll get another one. But let's see what he's thinking. Just goes with a mountain.
So he actually, he hadn't played a land because he had the search for tomorrow. So.
Oh, right.
Yeah, five lands on turn 2. Turn 3. No big deal.
I believe I saw a Prime Time in his hand. I see a Prime Time, a Summoner's Pact, an Anger, and a Scapeshift. The Scapeshift and the Anger probably aren't going to do much of anything, but an Acid Moss is going to take him off that Prime Time mana for just a little bit longer. Doesn't have any more lands in hand, so he's going to have to draw some lands if he wants to start putting some threats out.
He could always Scapeshift and go get 4 random lands for no reason.
Yeah, that's an option.
That's a play.
That's certainly an option.
Actually, he can't do that anymore because he just lost his other basic forest. So, this is brutal. This one could be tough, folks.
You can see there we got the not entirely certain on the pronunciation, some type of acid moss.
Muonvuli.
Close enough.
Couldn't tell you.
Close enough. Draws a land, not a green source. Gonna need to hit that. It's gonna need to spike a forest on the next turn. He's got the option to Summoner's Pact. However, he doesn't have the double green, so he just dies with upkeep. So that's not a strong line.
Now, to Matthew's credit, he is saving some life here by not having to crack these fetches. I mean, those things are making red mana, and they didn't even have to, didn't pay any life. That's a big upside here for this turn 2 Blood Moon.
Silver linings, I like.
Silver lining.
I like it. So I guess we're just basically waiting on Benjamin over here to draw a threat of some sort.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that this Ponza deck sucks. I own the deck. I still own the deck. And you have half your cards are ramp spells. You have another Acid Moss.
I think that's probably going to lock up the game.
Yeah,
I got to imagine.
That's pretty brutal.
Yep.
Okay, he's going to scoop.
See the concession.
Yeah, I assume he's only got 2 forests. But yeah, these Ponza decks, they've got so much devoted to ramp and land destruction that it can be tough to find a way to win the game. Obviously, there when you can get your opponent to scoop, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But
5-minute match.
yeah, not
Game,
bad.
rather.
Not bad.
I did get an opportunity to look at these gentlemen's sideboards.
Oh, you did some snooping around?
I did some snooping. I saw Matthew had 3 reclamation stages, which I gotta imagine are coming in. Those seem very strong.
Those seem pretty good. Though you do need a forest to cast them, so that's a little awkward, but...
So he's definitely going to have to pretty aggressively start getting those forests out. Aside that, there was nothing really that I recall seeing that seemed great. He had like a Thrun in the side. I can't imagine that being too good. He had a bunch of relics. He had a bunch of obstinate Balos, a bunch being 3 in this case. And I'm kind of blanking on his other cards.
A bunch of Balos.
Some sudden shocks, a bunch of stuff that's not coming in aside those Rex Sages. Those are going to be pretty big. Benjamin, on his side, from what I recall, he had a motley crew of sideboard cards.
I took a look at it too, and I sort of thought the same thing. He's got some typical stuff, like he's got like 3 Angers, which is what you'd expect, but some stuff in there's a little funky. He had a Grafdigger's Cage, which seems fine, but not going to help him here.
We're getting word that he has some Trinispheres on the side.
Yeah, that was what really stood out to me.
I'm going to be interested to see if he's going to want to bring that in, because it's obviously good against the early plays that Titanshift is going to put out, those being the ramp spells.
Yeah, what's cool is that for Search for Tomorrow, it makes him pay 3 when it comes off.
Ooh, interesting.
But what's kind of irrelevant there is that, like, this Titanshift deck is also a shitty deck and doesn't do it. Like, what do they care if they had to pay 3 mana on their turn 3 for... They're not doing anything with that mana anyway. That's sort of how both these decks are. Both are competitively strong, especially Titanshift right now. But they're both kind of cheesy and pretty derpy sometimes.
They got a pretty linear game plan. You cast your ramp spells, you cast your payoffs.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's good enough.
Yeah.
Typically it is. Titanshift, really popular deck right around now.
So Matthew didn't have the chalices, does he? I don't think he'd want him here anyway. But did he have them?
I did not see him on the east side. Maybe he's got some in the main. But I definitely did not see any on the side. I do think, with concern to the Trinisphere, I'm going to bring it back a little bit here. I can see them being good on the play. I would be really surprised if we saw them on the draw. I think on the draw they're going to be notably worse.
Yeah.
Because getting that on turn 2, that does seem like decent. Maybe it's for the card. I don't know exactly what cards he's going to be looking to take out. I imagine like cards like Lightning Bolt, if he has that. Both of them have Anger. That seems pretty bad in the matchup.
So Matthew... Does Matthew have Lightning Bolts? Because sometimes it's okay for Matthew to keep the bolts for the Arbor Elves. Is not bad.
That's reasonable.
In fact, Benjamin almost certainly... He goes by Ben, right? I can't remember. Anyway, Ben probably has 6 Manadors, probably 4 Elves and 2 Birds.
Sounds about right.
So the bolts are fine for him. But just good face damage if you can't get in there with Valakutes later.
Making sure to get that deck nice and shuffled,
But one thing that Matthew Minniear can have here to fight the Blood Moon is Inferno Titans. Did he have Inferno Titans?
He did not have them on the side.
So that card is it's a nice way to shore up these matchups where you're almost certainly going to get Blood Mooned. At least your opponent's going to attempt to Blood Moon you 2 to 3 games in a row. So I like Inferno Titan a lot. I've seen some people pack even like 3 of them because you can just bring them in. They're good in a lot of matchups anyway. But they're especially nice with against these Blood Moons. Yeah, it's pretty dope.
We're being told that he actually does in fact have Inferno Titans, so I got to imagine. Definitely Ben has the Inferno Titans in his deck. That's going to be one of his
the Inferno Titan mirror. Who'd have thought, folks? Modern staple.
It happens.
It does. Yeah. I wonder if either player wants to bring in a Thragtusk. Is that the sort of thing that these guys want?
That is a good question.
Are they trying to out mid-range each other at some point?
I could see Matthew wanting to bring those in just because if he does get Blood Moon on one green.
Yeah, it's an easy threat to kill, unlike a Baloth, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Baloth seems pretty poor in this matchup. So got Matthew playing out some lands, playing a Valakut. I see he's got Courser in his hand.
Courser seems tough because that's again double green.
He might be getting Blood Moon right here.
The nice thing about
seen in his hand.
The nice thing about Blood Moon here is that
I imagine it'll fetch him response.
Yeah, I would hope so. Blood Moon not only delays your opponent, so it's you can totally lock out your Titanshift opponent here. But crucially, you actually make them get forests instead of mountains, basic forests, meaning that even if they destroy your Blood Moon, Matthew's going to be a few turns behind on his ability to start proccing Valakut because he's probably going to aggressively fetch for 2 forests here.
I got to imagine, yeah.
So that Blood Moon is just such a good card in this matchup.
I see he's got the other forest in hand, so he's going to be able to deploy this Courser. Drew another Courser. I'm interested to see how they're going to play out.
Yeah, so double Courser seems great here, given he managed to get the green online. I can't imagine you'd want the Coursers that much on the draw against the turn 2 Blood Moon, but you know, when you're on the play, it seems fine.
We see that Rex stage sitting on top. Ben knows about it. He's probably going to prepare for that a little bit, or at least as much as he can. I'm not seeing much in the way of another Blood Moon in Ben's hand. Just got some threats. I'm seeing maybe some Kitchen Finks, maybe some Huntsman. Oh, I see a Crumble. That seems like it's going to be strong here against that Valakut in play.
Yeah, Crumble's pretty good.
Yeah, I got to imagine that's the matchup he has it for. And he gets to shuffle that Rex Sage on top. So this is really a pretty bad beat for our boy Matthew.
Man, I was really hoping for like the for Matthew to go like Simian Spirit Guide, Metamorphose, make some green mana, and cast a heroic intervention.
Ooh.
That would just blow him out.
That would be spicy.
All right, so we got the hand revealed here. He's not going to get any Valakuts out of hand, but he's going to get all of them out of the library.
It looks like he's got another forest, so he's got at least 3 in the deck. So he, regardless of if Ben has another land destruction spell the following turn, he'll be able to deploy double green spells. Interestingly enough, by crumbling Matt here, he basically made him mulligan by that Scapeshift is now not a card.
Yeah, well,
will not be cast.
And the other thing here is that he lost the Rex Sage on top.
Yeah,
which is
gonna be
frustrating.
Could definitely. It doesn't seem like the Rex Sage is doing too much. Like
well,
he's got a bunch of green mana,
the cool thing about the Rex Sage here is that when your opponent opts to play a card like Blood Moon and you have an answer for it in the form of a Rex Sage, you're sort of just hardcore 2-for-1ing them in an extremely fair game of Magic. I mean, think if Matthew played that Rex Sage and now his opponent used his turn 3 doing basically nothing. And Matthew has a 2-1 and a 2-4 on. Oh wow, he revealed. Well, so we're gonna see it anyway, though, folks. So Matthew's probably gonna put down this Windswept Heath. I think you want to hold the forest in hand so you can prevent it from being stone rained if you can. So I'd play the Wooded Foothills off the top.
Seems easy.
Yeah. So now you play the Rex Sage and you have a 2-1 and a 2-4 against your opponent's 1-1.
And he can start beating down.
Yeah, I mean this. Again, this is why Ponza's a little bit...
Oh,
right, I forgot he had the second Courser.
Goes with the second Courser.
Yeah, that seems fine.
What do you think the upsides there are for playing the Courser instead of the Rex Sage? I'm having trouble thinking of anything.
Well, Benjamin could always Maelstrom Pulse, and that sounds like a joke, but that's maybe a downside for playing the second Courser. Some of these red-green Ponza decks splash black. Actually, so do the Titanshift decks. Sometimes you see the Slaughter Games and the Abrupt Decays and the Maelstrom Pulse. But like I can't think I think it's probably about the same.
Going for the Huntsman is making that double Courser play look pretty smart. Now he's got 2 guys that can just punch through and then make sure that Huntsman's not going to be able to flip next turn. And Ben is missing a land drop, which is great. He's got probably, I imagine, a handful of big, dumb, expensive, hard-to-beat spells. I see definitely at least
there's an Inferno Titan, yep.
Maybe a Primal Command, just a bunch of big, good cards. And, now Matt's going to start gaining 2 life every time he plays land, which is
that's a big
something.
deal.
It's
That's
something.
That Huntmaster gains 2 life every now and then, but so do these Coursers.
Oh, went for the fetch. Illegal play, my dude.
There is
Now
a Blood Moon.
Going back to the drawing board. Let's see what he comes up with. Gaining 2. Didn't miss it. Nice.
Yeah,
Moving
2/4 bodies are actually really good against this Ponza deck because an Inferno Titan can't even really clean those up very well, right? I mean, the Inferno Titan is only going to do 3 damage.
This may be a much better card than we're anticipating. Matthew is shuffling his Inferno Titan on top. Guessing he doesn't want it. Wants to see what else he can get. Doesn't really have much to do with this 1 mana. Interested to see what land he's going to grab. Maybe just grab like a Stomping Ground tapped, or is that a Cinderglade?
That is that is an Expedition Cinderglade, yeah. Matthew Minniear really shelling out. Actually, I feel like an Expedition Cinderglade doesn't cost anything.
Probably not.
That's my guess. My guess is you can get one of those for like 18 bucks.
Apparently they're 30, we're being told, which, that's something. That is an amount of money that I wouldn't want to spend on a Cinderglade.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, they look cool, I guess. I'm not a huge fan. I actually don't really like any of the buddy lands. Or the Tango lands, I should say.
Attack him with both. Do you think there's any merit to Ben double blocking either of those?
Huntmaster is pretty good here, so maybe not yet. Maybe down the road, but I think I like passing turn with the Huntmaster here to get it to flip, take out the Rex Sage, get a 4/4, do 2 damage to face. But that also means that Ben has to basically just pass his turn and time walk himself. The unfortunate thing about Huntmaster in Ponza, and I know this because I played 2 Huntmasters in Ponza, Huntmaster is best when you have instant speed plays in your deck, because when you pass the turn, you want to be able to pass without casting anything but still get value during the turn cycle.
Yeah, and I mean, right now his hands is a bunch of expensive sorceries. So
right, I mean, Ponza basically doesn't have instants. They have Beast Within, and that's it, right? So if Ben passes the turn here to flip Huntmaster, which I think is the best thing to do, he doesn't have any instants to use on his opponent's turn except for Beast Within. So it can be kind of awkward.
So getting that trigger, flipping him, see what he's going to do with it. Imagine just kill Rex Sage.
Yeah, that seems like the prudent thing. I mean, you could send it to a Courser if you wanted to put 2 damage on it to prevent a swing for some reason, but if you had a Lightning Bolt, you could chain it with a Lightning Bolt to take out a Courser, and that'd be okay.
Matt being a real bro here, letting us just look at his hand.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't love it when players do this generally, because, like, I don't know, to me it, like, distorts the game state and makes it hard to, you know, see what's actually happening on board. It just makes things kind of but yeah, as a commentator, it's nice to know exactly what Matt's sitting on here.
I'm interested to see if he's gonna. I imagine Matthew's gonna end up fetching with this Windswept Heath at some point. That Scapeshift on top of his library, as we said, isn't gonna do anything after the crumble to dust has crumbled.
Yeah, Scapeshift is bad news bears here.
He's going in the tank. Curious of what he's thinking about. I imagine he's probably just going to end up playing these 2 Steves, a.k.a. Sakura Tribe Elders.
Yeah, Steve's pretty dope.
Which, interestingly enough, actually gives him another way to fetch in case the top card of his library is bad. So there's a little bit of synergy right there.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
I suppose that's a combo.
So going down to 21, up to 23 after that fetch. Ooh, are those mismatched Cinderglades?
Yep. He could only his bank account was a little tight. He could only afford 1 Cinderglade. That's okay. We'll forgive him. Matt's a very young guy, very young Magic player, still working to build up his finances.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of a fan of going for the rando promotional cards in my deck.
I talked to a guy the other day who was playing Bant Company, and he said. So he's got like 3 temple, or he's got like 2 temple gardens and 2 breeding pools. Like he's got a bunch of shocklands and a bunch of different. He said that he likes having as many different types as possible. So like, his right. So like his flooded strands. He had 1 expedition flooded strand, 1 cons flooded strand, and 1 onslaught flooded strand. And I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's cool if you like, if you value variety like that. But I thought it was a little much.
So we see Ben does in fact have that Beast Within. He's Beast Withining.
I don't know about that play. I mean, you take your opponent off green. Well, I don't know. I mean, he's got 4 lands. He has a primetime in hand, so you want to take him off. But geez, giving your opponent a 3/3, in the midst of this combat math, it's already a little tenuous. I don't know.
So we saw Ben just drew the what's that enchantment called? The 1 mana ramp enchantment that he's got in his deck.
The 1 mana? Oh, Utopia Sprawl.
Yes, he drew the Utopia Sprawl, which is kind of almost like drawing a land, but not quite. I imagine he'll take that over any other big, expensive sorcery in his deck, which he has a lot of.
Yeah, interestingly, he does have a Primal Command in hand, and that can do some real work here.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what would you do with the Primal Command in this spot.
I think you got a lot of options.
There are a lot of options.
you've got it. What do you got? At least 10 options. Is that right? Is that right?
I'm not a math boy.
If you've got 4 choices and you can choose 2, where's Scott? Our resident judge Scott is big on permutations and combinations. We need his help.
So he's tapping 3 mana here. I know he has a Stone Rain in hand. Maybe he's just casting the Stone Rain, take him further back in mana. Looks like that's the case.
That seems fine.
Seems reasonable. I kind of like what he's going for with that. With the Beast Within there. That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, if you have another Stone Rain, I think that's fine. My guess is, this Huntmaster can only do so much work.
Ooh, flipping this guy again.
Yeah, he's going to get 2 life, get a wolf. I'm just wondering if this 3/3 beast comes back to bite him.
And I am curious as to why Matthew didn't play the other Steve there. I'm having trouble seeing any downside to playing it. He had the 2 mana.
Maybe he's trying to play around a Bonfire. Ben plays, Bonfire main board like most Ponza decks, but that doesn't seem great to do, especially because Steve by himself already plays around Bonfire so well, because when he dies, you just sack him.
You can sacrifice him. Gaining some more life.
So Matthew clearly out of forests.
No. A little life total update.
1626. That was a good year. Am I right? Am I right?
No, you're not right.
I don't remember it.
So this will be a nice little turn. He'll get to go to 28, explore, hopefully draw into something cool. If not, he can just put the sack with Steve, which I imagine he'll be doing right now, and then hopefully exploring into something cool. Just tap some mana, thinking.
Really in the tank on this one. I'm not sure how many lines you have with these with these 2 decks. Well, maybe the Primal Command, but I'm not sure what there is to think about here.
Just being deliberate. I can appreciate it. However, if he does want to take this match down, he will probably want to put a little pep in his step. This game, I imagine, it's going to go for several more turns. And he is down a game. So that is something to think about in situations
This is
like
a pretty... This is one of those games where both players don't really have enough removal, and if one of them doesn't find the ability to go over the top here, we could end up with like a super grindy combat stall, sort of like a game of Limited, where everybody's removal starved. So this could get interesting though.
So next turn, Ben will be able to play this prime time he has in his hand.
Yep.
So hopefully that's able to kind of clear this up. That'll probably just take down the beast token. Gets to explore into the land and play it. So draw that. Take a look. Another explore. Gain some life. Eat your heart out, Burn players. Courser is a very interesting card. I feel like that has a lot more applications than I'm giving it credit for.
Yeah, I really like the card. I like it a lot. When it first came out in Born of the Gods, people were kind of skeptical, but then it sort of turned into a standard all-star.
Yeah, really was. That and Sylvan Caryatid really felt like the 2 all-star
Yeah, dude, red-green monsters, man. Take me back.
Those are some good days.
Of course, there's a sweet card. You know that green-white company deck that Todd Stevens has been playing?
Mm-hmm.
That deck is like so dope. I think I have that deck built, and I think what a lot of people don't quite realize about it until you play it, or if you watch someone play it a lot. The deck basically gets to ponder every turn, and Courser plays a big role in that.
My issue with that deck is its good matchups are very, very good, and its bad matchups feel very, very bad. However, you spike a tournament, you read your meta right, it feels good. Actually, I believe we had a PPTQ here that was taken down by a green-white company.
Oh, is that right?
That was streamed here via Top Deck Productions.
What I like about the deck, so I think it has some bad matchups. For me, the worst matchups were go wide decks like Merfolk and Elves, because I simply didn't have
pretty atrocious.
You don't quite have the removal. Path doesn't cut it, and Engineered Explosives isn't great.
It's pretty good against Merfolk specifically, but again, against those go wide strategies, it can be pretty easy to rebuild after a single.
Yeah, so the deck has some bad matchups, but like I was saying earlier, the courser in that deck, when you mix it with the Remnant Excavator and the Knight of the Reliquary and the Tireless Tracker and the Azusa and maybe the Renegade Rallier sometimes, that land creature package just allows you to continually manipulate the top card of your library, and so you're like it's almost like brainstorming every turn, because you can, if you want to, you can play a fetch off, look at the top card, fetch, search with Knight, look at the top card again, and it's all cycling there, and you can, if you need a draw step to win the game, you can take that draw step like 7 times. It's kind of ridiculous, actually.
So here we see Ben rather, has played out 2 Kitchen Finks. That's certainly going to widen the board presence, gum it down a little bit more.
Yeah, I want to see the angers. We were sort of hating on the anger in this matchup earlier. I think both players ostensibly could have benefited from it here.
I kind of enjoy that. It's the sideboard dance now.
It's like Splinter Twin, but a little less.
Or it's just like the control deck sideboarding in a bunch of creatures,
Right,
that really puts the opponent in a weird spot.
Yeah, like American mid-range bringing in the Thundermaw Hellkite.
Or blue-white bringing in them Spellquillers.
That's right, that's right.
So we got another fetch, gain some more life. I'm surprised, unless I'm missing something, was Matthew unable to play the primetime there?
So I don't know. There's no Blood Moon in play. He definitely had 6 lands. I'm not sure if he.
I just feel like the longer the game goes from this point,
the Huntmaster is going to keep generating value. That's a problem. I mean, we know Matthew literally has no removal. I mean, he simply does not have the removal for Ben's threats. So I don't know. I mean, that Huntmaster will take away the game if he lets him. A 6/6 Trampler is good on the board state, but not against an army of wolves.
And we see Matthew, he's sitting on a primetime, escape shift, and some type of promotional card that I'm not 100% sure what it is. Maybe an Explorer?
I think that's a promo Explorer. Oh, it's a promo Farseek.
Promo Farseek, okay.
Which is basically worthless here.
And Ben is sitting on a primetime and a primal command, both of which seem pretty powerful here. I imagine he'll be able to push through these 2 coursers with those 2 cards, I imagine.
Maybe Matthew thinks that there's still a Blood Moon in play and that he can't play primetime. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Interestingly enough, I believe if Ben didn't name red with that Utopia Sprawl, he's actually unable to cast the Inferno Titan. So
yeah, I wish. Yeah, do we know?
If you guys up at the booth could find out, or I guess we're in the booth, up at
the
control room,
yeah.
Figure out what exactly that's naming. That could be good to know.
Yeah, Ben's really struggling to hit his land drops here.
Red. So he will be able to deploy this Inferno Titan the following turn.
God, Matthew up to 35 life. What is this, Soul Sisters?
And he's thinking, tapping 4. Is he going to cast Escape Shift here? Gain life, Escape Shift, sack bunch of, bunch of life.
Escape Shift, yeah.
Take out all the lands out of his deck, so hopefully he's drawing gas. I mean, I guess that probably counts for something. I'm not exactly sure what the land base is looking like in his deck.
Wow, does he really?
But
he's going.
Wait,
so he's probably got 27 lands in this deck, maybe even as many as 28. But I can't imagine that. So he's gonna sack 4, 5.
I believe 4. His head's a little bit in the way right now, but I believe it's 4. Oh, maybe 5. That's looking like 5. He's pondering it.
Thank you to whoever moved Matthew's head back. We appreciate that. I'm not sure what the point of not. Why would you not sack the basic mountains? I mean, a stomping ground is just strictly better than a basic mountain here, right?
Except for again, Rain, perhaps.
Well, I don't think Ben has Molten Rains. Most people don't play it in these decks because the mana base is too slanted green with the forest because of the way Utopia Sprawl interacts with Blood Moon. So double red's kind of taxing on turn 2 or 3. But the only other reason I can think of is that Stomping Ground gets hosed by Crumble to Dust, but I can't think of a good reason to keep the mountains.
All right. Oh, gaining just an outrageous amount of life right now.
Yep.
Combo.
And now, so I wish we could see the graveyard and count. I wonder how many lands he's actually got out of his deck right now. Like, it might be that there's only like 2 or 3 or 4 lands left in there. He's probably got some fetches still.
Yeah, I imagine he's got some dead fetches.
Maybe like a Verdant Catacombs floating around.
But I mean, they're not even totally dead because again, he's got the Courser
Yeah,
to help him.
yeah. Double Courser with fetch lands is pretty dope.
But his deck is looking a little thin right now. Maybe this. maybe we get a nice little deck.
nice little mill win.
That might be fun, depending on your interpretation of fun.
Yeah, if this game goes to a mill win, I'm gonna. Okay, so he does have the Inferno Titan. All right, here we go.
And we saw a little hand rub. Ooh, the attack. This is a bit of an aggressive attack. I'm surprised to see this.
I do not like that attack
some double blocks
at all.
A double block might be in play.
I mean, he can kill a Courser with a Finks and a Wolf, and then get a Finks back.
It seems like a pretty free block.
That seems like an atrocious move. What are you doing? You're gonna get 2 damage off. What was the point? Your opponent's gonna gain 2 life anyway from the Finks trigger. I don't understand that attack.
I think he maybe got excited by the Inferno Titan on top, you know?
Yeah.
I did see a little hand rub.
Some people say that Inferno Titan's a little bit like Liquid Courage, but I would not have gone for that attack.
Yeah, I think you got to hunker up because now, I mean, he's just about to get faced right here.
Now he is at 47 life, so you know he's got
a lot.
He's got some leeway.
But
he can afford to make bad combat math decisions for a few turns yet before it really gets to him. I'm
still just curious what Ben is going to do with his Primal Command. So what are the modes? Can you run them by me?
Yeah, so you can put a non-creature permanent on top of a library. You can gain 7 life. You can search your library for a green creature card, or maybe just a creature card, and then you can exile an opponent's graveyard, or a player's graveyard, I think. So it's a pretty good card. I played one of them in my Ponza deck.
Any creature, all right.
Oh, any creature? Yeah, pretty dope. Pretty dope. The non-creature permanent is like really hit or miss. Sometimes you just use it as a land destruction spell to put one of their lands on top of their library. Sometimes it comes up big against affinity and stuff. You know, you take out their cranial plating for a turn or whatever.
It feels pretty good, or feels, I've never played it, but it's felt pretty bad getting Primal Commanded to bounce a thing, and then they search up a threat that I can't beat, and I'm like...
Yeah, it's pretty sweet to go and get your silver bullets.
So he's casting it now. Let's see what he's doing.
All right, what are all the cards he could go get? He could get a Vorapede. He could get a Stormbreath Dragon. He could get a Gaia's Revenge.
I got to imagine, unless if he's got some real wackadoo stuff in there, probably just another Inferno Titan. Back-to-back Inferno Titan seems pretty good.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, Minniear's gonna have way more red mana than Ben here, which is pretty relevant if they both have Inferno Titans for the fire breathing effect.
So we see that Ben has put the Stomping Ground on top and is searching his library for
the Inferno Titan. There we see it.
Titan. So now he's going to be ahead of the game on the Inferno Titan party. With that land on top, he's obviously going to have to draw that next turn, not drawing. And then if he wants to cast the Prime Time, is the Prime Time ETB trigger a May or not? Because I imagine you may have just time walked him right here if it's not a May.
Good question. I think you can choose not to search. Yeah,
it'd be an interesting. If that is the case, I've never before seen.
I've never seen a player not want to.
Where it was probably correct not to search off the Prime.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, crazier things happen. So Ben's getting aggro, coming in with a persisted Finks, a Wolf, an unpersisted Finks, an Arbor Elf, and the Huntsman, or Huntmaster rather. So taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Taking him down to 37.
I'm still trying to understand
the previous attack.
Well, that too. But why is the Prime Time not in play?
I feel like there should have been a point where you could have cast it.
I think he thinks the Blood Moon is in play. I think he thinks that he has. Okay, well there he goes. Maybe he heard us. Maybe he heard us whispering our recommendations.
The very rare not searching. Just heard it called.
Yep, you heard it here first, folks.
Smushing. Still, I guess he's got to maybe race here. That's his only line to win. I haven't really done the combat math.
I think you can race here with the Huntmaster triggers if they're used effectively. That's my guess.
So,
but you can't swing into the prime time. Man, Ben would love a bonfire here.
He could bring it in with the Finks, I think. He could bring it in with the unprotected Finks. If he...
Oh, here we go.
Threes.
Here we go.
So he's just shooting him for 3. Honestly, I think I guess it
no, wait,
ultimately
why don't
didn't really
you
matter.
Why don't you shoot the prime time and
attack with the Finks? Is what I was thinking.
Yeah,
as
that's.
a potential line.
I think you're right.
But
I think
ultimately, it ends up with the same resolution of them taking 3 damage, but you just have a guy tapped. So I guess it really doesn't do too much in the abstract. But so I guess he does keep the lightning bolts in, which seems reasonable. So
yeah, killing those Arborels doesn't seem great here, but can kill the Huntmaster
so
if it's
maybe
unflipped.
I could see a world where he just passes. Ben just passes the next turn to flip it, so it doesn't die to the lightning bolt. I could totally see that being the case. But we shall see. So he casts the prime time, targeting, goes.
Huntmaster Finks.
Seems reasonable.
I think probably the Arbor Elf was a better hit than the Finks there. Especially when he has a Utopia Sprawl in play, because that means a bonfire off the top. That elf
would just be spicy.
Yeah, that I think the elf is probably a better play than the Finks there, but it's tough to say.
So attacking with the prime time, getting some triggers, gaining some life. I imagine those fast lanes aren't really going to be doing much of anything this game. I imagine this Farseek isn't really going to be doing much of anything this game.
Yeah, there may not. They should call it a not Farseek, because I'm not sure it would find any lands.
All right, let's see. I believe, did he just take the damage? It seems that way. Now it's going to be nice. He's going to be able to play the one Inferno Titan, deal 3 to the other Inferno Titan, and then attack, get the trigger again, and just outright kill the Inferno Titan. Still, and he may even have some mana to pump a little bit. Yeah, he will have 2 mana to pump, which is 1 pump.
It actually fire breathes for just 1. So yep,
okay.
Pretty dope card. Not the most popular Titan, but definitely a good one. Yeah, and he can actually he can use an elf to untap a stomping ground to fire breathe even more. So Matthew's clapping because I think he understands that his defeat is imminent.
Let's see if he's gonna do some pumping action. Not blocking. I imagine he's. Why wouldn't you? Pump. Ooh.
Oh, still before
2.
damage, spicy. Yep.
Good
So
call.
getting in with the big fire breathing. He does have to be a little careful. He's at 11. I'm not exactly sure what Matthew could do to threaten that life total, but he does have a 6/6 trampler and a 2/4 in play.
Got a lot of life to work with as well, but it is going to be tough. And unfortunately, the Titans actually aren't really going to be able to trade. I mean, I guess he could. I would be surprised, first of all, if Matthew attacked here, because then is he just dead on the swing back?
He's 100. Yeah, he's 100% dead on the swing back.
And unfortunately, both of the Titan triggers kill the Titan, or really either of the 2 blockers anyway. So Matthew. He's in a rough spot.
Well, so Matthew. So 29. So on the swing back, we have 1, 2, 3, plus 18 is 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I think the swing back is only 28 damage with the max fire breathing and both triggers going to face. So that's kind of interesting.
I mean, he's got a couple turns to draw something that does something, but unfortunately, he's out of draw effects, so it looks like he's drawing a blank.
Search for Tomorrow seems... oh, another prime time is a little interesting.
It may be a day late, dollar short type situation,
yeah,
but
these Inferno Titans are going to be brutal. Well, if you swing with both, you can send both triggers at the prime time.
And you can split it up anyway, so he might just end up, if he keeps the Courser back to block, just having it be dealt 4 and the other 2 going in the face. Attacking for 6. Let's see what he does here. He may double block or just chump, take 4, end up gaining 2 back, so it takes 2 at the end of the day. Persistent Kitchen
So
Finks.
it goes to 9.
So I imagine this. Maybe he's just got to kill the primetime here, because he might actually be dead to the primetime.
So yeah, I think you just swing with both.
By the other.
I think you can swing with everything if you want, and then just take both triggers at the prime time. Yeah, I don't know why you don't swing with the wolf there.
I mean, it just kind of gets eaten by the courser, right?
Oh yeah, there's a courser in play. Who knew?
I did.
Yeah, Victor knew. Victor knew.
So
thank God there are 2 of us.
Getting some pumps going. I'm interested to see if he drew something that's going to make him not want to pump again. He could have, if I believe that Utopia Sprawl is on red, so he actually could have pumped each of those boys one more time. But he didn't, so maybe he just might have missed out on 2 points of damage there. But shouldn't matter too much. Playing primetime, searching again. I believe he's just dead though. But he is gaining a little bit of life. And that may be the last land out of his deck. No longer has any lands in his deck.
So what do we think the best mega cycle Titan at Mythic is the best if you have a lot of them against your opponent's lot of them? I'm thinking Grave Titan.
Maybe Frosty.
I don't think Frosty's. I think Frosty's terrible here.
Well, like, think about it. If you are the second man to play the Frosty, then you can just basically infinitely tap down their Frosties.
That's true. Right. If you have one. If you have one Frosty for every. Okay. That's. Well,
but it's interesting because you
think
don't
about
want to be the
Titan.
first person to play it.
Right. Right. Well, think about a Grave Titan. Right. The Grave Titan. If you had Frosty versus Grave Titan, your opponent can't tap down your 2/2s. But I guess, but you only have the ETB 2/2s. You wouldn't have any attack trigger 2/2s. Oh, that's interesting. You know what? Frost Titan was initially my lowest appraised Titan for that scenario, but you might be right.
That's an interesting question to ponder, because this game isn't super interesting. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook right now.
I imagine this game's gonna be over in I'm surprised it's not over quite yet.
Yeah, we're not even gonna get to a game 3 here. But who needs it when we have 2 Inferno Titans? Yeah, I'm just a little. The red-green mirrors aren't super interesting. I'm not even sure I can think of a red-green mirror that I would want. By the way, this match is courtesy of Jake Valentine. You all can thank him on Facebook. Yeah, he wanted to watch Matthew Minniear play Titanshift against Ponza. I think it was sort of like a sadistic kind of thing. You know?
Sounds about right.
Let us know in chat what you guys want to see for round 2. This one looks like it's coming to a close.
We got some interesting looking decks on the roster that we can select from.
Yeah, a lot of players out here tonight. A lot of people I don't even know. Where all these people come from? I don't even.
The parking lot was quite crowded.
Yeah, the parking lot was very. I had a hard time parking. I had to walk like a quarter of a mile to get here. Yep, so that'll do it, folks. Thanks for sticking with us. We know that one was painful. But we'll try to get some other colors besides red and green for match number 2. Man, 2 red-green mid-range decks things, kind of. And we don't even see like a Borborygmus or a Rorikthar.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? What's the point of even playing these if you're not going to play a Rorikthar? Like, man, all right. Well, anyway, yeah, let us know. Let us know what you want to watch. We got a lot of spicy decks.
And don't forget, everybody, that this match and every other match you see tonight is going to be put up on our YouTube page at some point. YouTube.com/TopDeckProductions.
Oh, is that what YouTube is? Is on YouTube.com? Is that how you get?
You don't gotta be a dick about
it. Is that how you get to YouTube?
That is World Wide Web dot
https:// I should say.
But yeah, we will have our beautiful voices commentating these matches on YouTube. If you guys want to go back, show your friends.
We've actually got a red-green werewolves deck. That is a red-green deck that I would watch. I would watch red-green werewolves.
I could see a world where I enjoy watching that. If
Dude, how flavorful would a red-green werewolves deck with Blood Moon be? That is so what the flavor.
That is a lot of
that's
flavor.
just
That's a flavor
oozing.
win at the very least.
Woo.
I can't imagine too many decks that out flavor that deck at the very least.
No, I can't either.
We got some Merfolk players here. In typical GameSwap fashion, it's a black-green X mid-range circle jerk at this store. A lot of Abzan players.
I thought you were gonna say black-green X Merfolk. I'm like, what the? What is that?
No.
I have seen the green-blue Merfolk splashing for company. It's really bad. Don't play it, guys. Don't play it.
I can see a world where that seems strong, but like you said, not a big fan.
We got somebody playing mono black something, but it doesn't appear to be the rack. So maybe it's like mono black control, playing some
Maybe
like
some
core
mono-black
lash air to the
devotion,
black. Oh, that could be.
I played that. That was my first mono deck.
Play a
Gray Merchant of
Gray Merchant, Pack Rat.
Phyrexian Obliterator into Gray Merchant.
What's the 3-mana as Geralf's Messenger? Oh man, that card is dirty.
There's the 2-mana black kicker that when you pick it, they sack. That's a pretty good card.
Gatekeeper of Malakir.
Yeah, that's another
beautiful
sweet
card.
one.
Beautiful card. Anyway, folks, like we said, thanks for sticking with us. We will get you a matchup that's not the red-green mirror.
Yeah, not two linear decks
God help us.
slapping each other in the face. But
though the Primeval Titan, Inferno Titan, head-to-head was pretty.
Yeah, that was
pretty epic.
That was interesting, and I've never before seen a primetime not search be correct.
Yeah, no, that was clutch by Matthew Minniear.
Well, I guess it technically was clutch, but didn't end up really doing much.
It was it was not. It wasn't not clutch, It would have been not clutch if he'd messed up. I wouldn't say it's clutch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
but
it.
He definitely did the not incorrect thing. Yeah, we'll be back soon, folks. Don't go away. Top Deck Productions, Mark and Victor.